All right, Austin, let's get going on. Feels good. Feels so good here. Okay, so this very first part, we discussed this in the lesson. It's a quarter note, 16th, 8th, 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 16th quarter. Quarter note, 16th, 8th, 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 right? So if we, this is obviously a slow version of that, but that's basically how it is. Now, is it faster than that? Yeah. Something like that, you're going to go faster. But it's not a crazy, crazy speed, all right? Now, if you're wondering, well, what is the exact speed? I'm not sure. Spotify, okay? It's your friend, all right? Get the original single version. It's going to sound weird because this is an E flat, and the original's an F major. So it's going to sound a little off, but if you listen to this, it starts off with the little soloing stuff at the beginning, okay? Just like your music has. But you hear that strumming pattern, da, 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 da. That's basically what you're doing on the piano, okay? Now, right there, I think it started around 18 seconds. Let me see here. 19 seconds. That's where he starts the horn. That's page 2, all right? The reason why I'm mentioning this, because if you can count, here's a metronome speed of it, 102. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can do that, you can do it with the recording, okay? So when you know it starts at 19, that's where you hit that first chord, the A flat with the B flat. So I'm going to go through every single chord of this, even not the repeats, okay? And I'm going to do it slow. So this is bar number 1 on page 2. We're starting with A flat, C, E flat with a B flat. Okay, then we shift to B flat, E flat, G, and E flat. Then B flat, D, F with D. Then B flat, E flat, G with C. Then we're coming up to F in the left hand and right hand, C, E flat, A flat. B flat now in the left hand and D, F, and B flat in the right. Then we come down to A flat in the left hand, same chord in the right, same chord, and then B flat, D, G with the G in the left hand. We're going to hold for 4 beats, and then we're going to play B flat, E flat, G, and C in the left hand. Okay, we're shifting in our right hand to C, E flat, A flat with F in the left hand. And then we're coming down to a minor 7 flat 5 chord, so it's F, A flat, C, D with a D in the left hand. And then F, G, B natural D with a G. And you're going to play this interval of B natural F, and then we're going to jump into that part. Now, if you can't do this, do not try to put hands together, okay? Practice your left hand walking. Now, that is just an octave. C octave, D, E flat. Come back to C and then hit D flat. Bum, hold it, and then D flat, E flat. Or basically B flat back to C. So that pattern's pretty easy, and I think you can pull that off. You kind of did it in the lesson. So putting them together. this chord, we're on the fourth bar, E flat. So B flat, C, E flat, G with an E flat in your left. Then we're going B flat, D flat, F, A flat in the right with a D flat in the left. Okay, and then we're coming up to a C minor 7. So C, E flat, G, B flat with a C. And then we're just moving down the B flat in the left hand, same chord in the right. Same chord in the right for this one, moving down to A flat. Same top 3 in the right, moving down to G. And then we're going to slide up here to E flat, A flat, C with an F. And now for this next part, I would recommend practicing ba 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 ba. Okay, get that left hand down, and then you can practice your right. Okay, and together. I did that wrong, excuse me. It's going to be like that. All right, so that we got that. Yes, you've got 3 beats, and then we start this part. Now, this is the part that you might be having trouble with, but you won't have trouble if you practice this. Forget about the left hand for a minute. Get your chords. Now, 2 things about this. 1, have your positions on a straight line. Don't have your hand shifting like this. So when I shift over and I go to the next chord, I just get my hand on the chord like that. Next chord, next chord, next chord. I stay right on that straight line, okay? None of this hand movements like that, all right? Then you can practice your timing. Okay, now, a couple things with this. Let's talk about the interval part, measure 3. A flat, F. There's a couple ways to do this. You could do what I did. I just used 1 and 5. You could use 1 and 4. Might be easier for you. See, I'm doing 1 and 4, then 1 and 5, then 1 and 5, and back to 1 and 5. You could do 1 and 3. So I started with 1 and 3, then I went 1 and 4, 1 and 5, 1 and 4. If you have issues doing 1 and 5, then change the fingering there, okay, for yourself. The left hand's nothing. There's nothing to that. All right, so I'll go through the chords now for this final one. So B flat, E flat, G. You hit that one again. Then it's C, D, G flat, A. It's the weird sounding one. And then D flat, F, A. Then C, E natural, G natural, B flat. And then we jump up to E natural, G, B flat, D flat. Then the bottom 3 notes are still the same, but we're just going to play to C now with our pinky. And then we're going to jump up with our thumb to this B flat. And we're going to go B flat, D, E, G. And then C, F, A flat. And this is where we come down to those intervals. So if you don't want to do it this way, then do it this way. Now you'll notice those are 8th notes, but I'm not really putting a lot of weight. I'm just, you want to bounce off these things, okay? When you're moving from chord to chord, you're not going to go, you're not going to put a lot of weight. You're just kind of almost staccatoing. Bop, 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 bop. Just remember that. Maybe that last one you'll hold because it's a tie. Okay? So jumping to the next chord, never sticking to chords. Okay? Now, third page is the only part that has something new besides the ending of the song. This part of the chord structure, that's all the same. Measure 2 is where things change slightly. So this first chord is D flat, F flat, which is E, G, and B flat. Then you go down to the C, then Then you come back to that chord, and then you slide up to E flat, A flat, C. And then we move back down to A flat, C, E flat, G, which was the initial chord we started on. And then we're repeating, okay? So hopefully this helps you. If it doesn't, if you need something else, let me know. But I will tell you, my final little trick here is find out when the recording starts and see if you can play with it. Yes, you could practice you could practice that part if you want, but I would practice that part when you get with the band. Practice it at home by yourself, keeping rhythm. But it's kind of hard to kick it in with the recording. But watch until it gets close to 19 seconds. Be ready on page 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get my point now, right? So if you can play with the single, then you're going to have no problem playing with the band, right? You're playing at time with the artist. It's going to sound weird because he's in a different key. That doesn't matter. If you're keeping up, you'll know, especially when you get to those spots, okay? So that's the way I would practice this, all right? Now, hopefully this helps. What I want you to do before I see you again is I want you to actually get some of these parts down, okay? And when you have some of them down, but maybe you have a few things you need to polish, that's when we're going to get back together. Okay? All right, bud. Good luck.